So traditionally, in the Himalayan region in Tibet, sand mandalas are created for a very specific purpose, which is for the purpose of conferring or giving of a Vajrayana empowerment. So that is the original context of creating a sand mandala. And most of the time, the majority of monasteries and nunneries in Tibet don't have the capacity or the resources to create sand mandalas. Only in larger monasteries is there the tradition of creating sand mandala to give empowerments. In other smaller places, painted mandalas are used to confer empowerment. But in the tradition, it is said that the sand mandala is superior to all other types of mandala because for every grain of sand that is used in a sand mandala, that is one mandala in itself. So if you can imagine, a sand mandala probably has millions of grains of sand. And that means that in that occasion, there are millions of mandalas present. And again, traditionally, during the construction phase of the mandala, nobody comes to see it. It's usually just, the 4 or 5 monks or ritual specialists that will spend a week making it. And after it is completed, it is put into a special structure whereby it is covered. And the idea is that at that point, after it's been put into this special structure, a ritual kind of altar, then the monks and the nuns and whoever has time from the village will come up and do maybe a week-long or a 5-day-long what is known as Drupchen, or the Great Accomplishment. So over 5 days, prayers, meditations, rituals will go 24 hours around the clock, whereby the blessings are generated and kind of focused onto the mandala. So that's the Drupchen. And so in many traditional Tibetan Buddhist places, this is still done. In many larger Buddhist centers, say in California and other places, Drupchens are still done. So what we're doing here is a kind of taking that principle of the creation of sand mandala, the giving of empowerment, and the performance of Drupchen, and interpreting that and applying it into our context. In our context, our lives are such that the 5 days of continuous doing of mantra recitation, rituals, and 24 hours, people divided into different groups, going on shifts, reciting mantras. I don't think we are ready for that yet. However, what we can do is the focusing of our intentions, the focusing of our aspirations, the focusing of our desire to work for the common good. All that can occur during the 8 days when the mandala is being created. So every single person that comes in and think, even for a moment, that we are gathered for the common good, for the benefit of others. Just that one thought, your prayer, your aspiration has dissolved into the mandala as it has been created. And everyone who comes and see this, who comes to any of the programs that we organize during the 8 days, if you come with that intention, then effectively we are replicating the effect that is gathered during these traditional Drupchens. So you have given your aspiration, your prayers, your love, your desire to help others, your wish for the common good has now been blessing the mandala. So that at the very end, what we call the dissolution of the mandala, often people think it's the destruction of something wonderful, but it's not. from the Buddhist perspective, what happens at the dissolution of the mandala is that all the blessings, all the powers, all the intentions that have gathered there over the period of the Dripchen, and in our case, over the 8 days, it has been multiplied by the number of grains of sand that is in the mandala, and therefore magnified. And now, at dissolution, what happens is all of these blessings are now released into the community. So our individual prayers and efforts and wishes have now been multiplied by the number of sand grains that are in the mandala, and now being redistributed to this whole area. So in many ways, it is talking about the problems that we face in this community. There is so much here. It's so abundant. But because of our kind of limited ideas and views, and think that I need to hold it to myself, so we don't give it to the common good. And so there is lack. There is impoverishment in the face of abundance. But if we give up the thought of only me, only myself, only my own family, and put it into this mandala of the common good, it can multiply in such great abundance that nobody needs to live with lack. And so that's the basic idea of this mandala event.